You must define who you are before you enter the corporate world. Now, I'm taking a couple of minutes here because I've seen a lot of youngsters enter the professional world in a very different sort of way. I want to use this opportunity of sharing my experience with youngsters with you. Which is not to suggest I'm not a youngster, but nevertheless. So, the first entity is what I'm calling Miss Corporate, Miss Wannabe Corporate. So a lot of people you will find. This is Antara Bajaj, manager training at Star Mechatronics. She will dress up right for the corporate world, she will use the right jargons. Her idea in life is, I am finally a part of the corporate world. I've always wanted to be in the corporate world, I am a part of the world. Awesome. I will dress very, very corporate. Doesn't matter whether I understand business, I understand marketing or not, I will dress very corporate. I will use jargon whenever I can. I go to the pawn buyer and ask him his return on capital employed. But I will use jargon because it makes me feel good. But is that what you want to become? It's not about jargon. The best inventions and discoveries in the world of marketing and management were not made with the corporate setup in the mind. But it is important to be corporate in a different way. But don't just be this. Have a lot of personality to yourself. Understand business. Understand what's being taught in class. Memorize that. Apply that when you get back to school and back to work. The other personality type which I call is Mr. Salesman. Mr. Preetham Parik is an example. He's territory sales manager of Freshline Agro. He thinks I'm B2B. I can say anything. Okay, that's a good thing. But professional life, corporate life, marketing is beyond just selling in the market any way you want. So you will pre-book orders, you will bribe people. You don't want to bribe people. You want to have an ethical business going. You want to create value for the customer. You want to create reasons why the customer will choose your brand over somebody else's brand. It's really not about just meeting this one's target. So while it's good to be making your targets, it is important to understand what the purpose of your being there is. I've heard a lot of young sales guys coming and say, okay, I'm going to get taxi fare, but can I take a bus ride? Spend 10 rupees and claim 200 rupees. Why do you want to do that? It's your company. If you're going to rob your company, are you really belonging mentally in that company? You're an outsider, aren't you? It's very important to really own the company and not see it as an outsider. Mr. Rakesh Pandey is Mr. 9 to 5. I am a very punctual employee of my company, which is a very good thing. But if that is all you are, that I come to office at 9 and leave at 5, then there is something not quite right with it. No one can accuse me of doing anything wrong. I keep my paperwork in order. Very good. But nobody can accuse you of anything good also. What have we done? I will come on time, I will have my paperwork in order, I will say yes sir, no sir, good morning sir, I will have lunch and I will go back. It's important to see life beyond that. Anything, let me first ask boss, otherwise, my boss can mark it. So that's a good thing to keep your line manager in loop, but it's important to take initiative as well. So you don't have to become Mr. Pandey. The fourth type I'm talking about is Mr. Dasgupta. Any Dasguptas here? Good. Thank God. I only understand my function and nothing else. Listen, I can tell you anything about my department, but finance, don't ask. Why? You're an MBA. Why would I not talk to you about finance? Why are you not trying to understand what is my financial structure? What is my leverage? What is my gearing? You should understand the whole thing as your business. It's not just saying, okay, I'm marketing. I don't know what return on investment is, what investment planning is, what capital budgeting is. No, you're an MBA. You need to understand these things really well. So do not ever think that you can remain in silos. You can remain in marketing and not understand finance. That is not true. As you grow in your career, it is important to understand business. Be open to change. You don't have to necessarily say, okay, I do it this way. I will not change. So you say that. Take 3 photocopies, file them, but he's not thinking beyond that. The final personality I want to talk to you about is, don't worry. Sorry? Anybody familiar? No. So, you want to keep everybody happy, you want to keep smiling, you want to do everything for today, not for tomorrow, you're not planning your life. What I'm trying to tell you is, you don't have to be somebody who's trying to please others by wishing them well, by smiling all the time. No, that's not That's not corporate life. Please do not be these guys. Okay? My suggestion to you, and you're open to take your own pick, there should be a college-going CEO. Whatever you are doing, you should own that process. Even if you're answering calls on the phone, you own that phone call, you own that function, you own that connect with the customer. And say, I am the CEO of phone call taking. To give you an example, have you heard of Bata? The CEO of Bata on his visiting card said, Chief Shoe Salesman. Didn't want to write CEO, Chief Shoe Salesman. And it did not feel bad at all for him. It was fine. So he took pride in the fact that he sells shoes and said, I'm just head of the team that sells shoes. So be proud of what you do, own the process. And don't say, no, that's somebody else there. No, you own the customer or you own whatever you're doing. Do not stop dreaming when you're out of school. You have to keep dreaming about how to add value to the customers. Think about what else you can do. Think about big things. Think about movies. Think about drama and romance and all of that in the professional life. Your brand has to be the hero of your customer's process. Wherever it's being used, whether it's television set at home or it's a salt being used in a manufacturing company, your brand has to be the hero of the customer's space. So don't stop dreaming just because you're out of business school. And always remember you're there to maximize shareholder value, create learning in the organization, develop people, and of course, more common sense. So with that quick introduction of what I want to share with you about how I see youngsters join the corporate world, I want to share what I'm going to share with you over the next 2 hours. These are my 2 forget-me-nots, the 2 things that I want you to remember always in life. The first forget-me-not, first flower, is that you should know your subject well. You should know your subject bloody well, really well. I have a theory in life. When I'm 87 years old, I should be able to pass an examination in marketing anywhere in the world. Fast. I may not top that university, but if I appear for an examination in a university in Pennsylvania when I'm 87, if I get a marketing paper, I should be able to get a 40 in that. Otherwise, I don't know my subject well. So, in class, please study. It is critical. I had a trainee last year who told me, and she was an HR trainee, who was talking to me and she was saying, why is it so important to study? All the backbenchers always do better in life. They don't listen to the teacher. All the discoveries are made by students who failed in school, etc. That is not true. You have to know your subject awesomely well. And I'm telling you from experience, if you don't know your subject, you're nowhere. I promise you that. The other thing I want to talk to you about is why it's important to put the customer first and the customer at the center of all you do. And in each of the 2 cases, I'll give you 1 case study from my company. The first, about why it's important to know your subject well. In that I talk about demand estimation, how we in industrial gases estimate demand. I'm sure you know how demand is estimated in FMCGs or consumer durables. But I will give you an example from my company and how demand is estimated in the industrial gases market. And the second is about putting the customer at the center of all that you do. Right from the moment you enter office on day 1 of your career to the day you retire, the last minute when you walk out of office, all you do, all the company does has to be focused around the customer. Whether the customer will like it or not, whether it's meant for the customer or not. And I'll give you an example of how we as a company went wrong when we launched a new product in the market because we didn't understand the customer. Because we thought whatever we think is common sense is right and how that was wrong. So these 2 examples I should share with you in a minute.